What was all that about, Detective?
Is there? Well, that's certainly disturbing. Maybe it's a threat from the killer. Red paint. The only person I can think of who would have red paint is Santiago.
You were hired to catch a killer, not to prod into our personal affairs, Detective. Oh, Keith. I thought he was finally over him. I can't believe it was him the whole time. You shouldn't be in here. The killer is still loose. Well, it is a bit strange how obsessed Santiago has been with the murder. I mean, he's always been a bit obsessive, though. He did a whole series of paintings of me, hundreds, said I was his muse. It was flattering for a while, but the man is a bit much. Even for me. Oh, yes, I haven't seen a woman go off like that since Teresa Dubois fired her costume designer. But to get back to your question, it was fever pitch, Detective. She had apparently gone to the overseer's office to check on the state of things and found it in horrible disrepair. But, and this is where it gets interesting, it sounded like she found something that really set her off. Couldn't hear what, though. Sounds good, Detective. No. The line is, then we'll make our stand here. Two lovers together with a bullet for each of them.
Oh God, Keith. I certainly feel safe with you protecting me. Oh, lay off, you old bitch. You probably killed him.
But now the law is on our tail. What are we going to do? Why'd you do it, huh? He deserved better than that. Oh, I want to believe you, I do, but they'll never let us go. It wasn't like that. We were friends. He helped me out of a tight spot or two is all.
Darling, I'm a good actor, but I'm not that good. Keith and I met him while we were visiting the island to research roles for a new film. We both found him utterly charming and decided to invest in his hotel project. Well, I suppose it was Keith's idea, really. I've heard that Ezra was actually some distant European royalty hiding in exile.
Sure, darling. What did you need?
Well, Keith is my fiancé, but I assume everyone knows that. It was in all the tabloids. We were co-stars on an adventure flick, The Last Voyage of the River Princess. He was a fledgling actor and I took him under my wing. Who? Oh, him. Mousy little man. Half the time I forget he's even around except when he's making too much noise in that lab of his. Such a waste. Hundreds of novels and not a single screenplay. The man is practically obsessed with me. Says I'm his muse. He did a whole series of paintings of me. We had some good times and his attention was flattering for a while, but I don't think you can even call what he's making art anymore.
My favorite subject. Simply put, darling, I'm the greatest actress in the world. When this international scuffle blows over, I shall return to the silver screen and lead the world to a new golden age of cinema. I'll be around, languishing from your inattention.
Have you ever met a more disagreeable person? All she ever does is throw her money around. She didn't even burn it. She constantly going on about some new illness and those horrible cats of hers piss on everything. Well, if you ask me, it's obviously Juliana. Did you hear her throwing accusations around?
Hey there, Tiger. Here for more stories about my acting career, or something else? Hello again, Detective. Here for my acting stories, I assume. Did you change your mind about hearing my acting stories, Detective?
That movie prop. I have no idea where that is.
Did you need something else? Surely you'd prefer to hear some tales from my storied acting career rather than talk about some dreadful murder. I used to do musicals back when they were in fashion. The Beautiful Cigar Girl, Wagons on the Plain, A Woman of the Royal Navy. They were ever so much fun. How rude. I guess I'll just find someone else to tell my acting stories to. Goodbye, Detective. Oh, that? We were rehearsing! Gotta stay sharp if we're going to rebuild Hollywood. But Keith always gets flustered when he's upset.
I thought one of the robots just spilled something.
Ugh, fine. I'm going to the beach. You should have seen me before all this. Red hair that was the envy of every girl and legs for days, darling. I'm sure you'd rather hear some of my stories from the silver screen rather than talk about that nasty murder business.
That's none of your business.
Fine. Goodbye, detective. Well now, if it isn't the brave detective. I haven't seen someone with a body like that in far, far too long. What can I say? It just comes naturally. Perhaps if we were better acquainted, I'd be willing to share what I know. Well, darling, play your cards right, and maybe I'll whisper some sweet nothings in your ear. Keep it up, Tiger, and we'll find out if you can handle how much woman I am. You're sweet, detective, but it wouldn't be fair to Keith. Did you know that I was supposed to star in Love Set Sail? The only reason that bitch Vera got the part is because her uncle was the producer. Did you know that while filming Night of the Fishman's Return, Cynthia Marsh had the most terrible allergic reaction to the fishman suit? More than half the scenes had to be done with her stunt double, and that stunt double ended up having an affair with her co-star. Keith and I first met when we acted together in Empire on the Nile. It was a period piece, huge production budget. He played Mark Antony, and I, of course, played Cleopatra. Ooh, how I hated that black hair, though. Sean Holzman, he was the director, you see. Well, he threw the most lavish set parties. They were absolutely bacchanalian. Did you know they were thinking of making a TV show of the Silver Shroud? Between you and me, Keith's agent had an inside track to get him the role. He'll deny ever saying it, but Keith once told me he caught Vince Natali and Sergio Amore together at a nightclub in a compromising situation. Care to hear some of my stories, detective? Surely you must be here for my salacious stories of the silver screen. That was great, detective, but we probably shouldn't make a habit of this. Catch you later, Tiger. Oh, boo, you're no fun. I suppose we can talk about the case, unless you'd rather hear some stories from my acting career. I don't think I want to talk to someone as rude as you.
Who did you want to talk about? Mr. and Mrs. Riggs? Or was it Santiago? I haven't lived this long just to be offed by some nobody like you.
Really? Well, that's a shame. It was a great picture. He was so cute in that tight uniform. I don't know, detective. I can't really imagine Keith killing Ezra. Look, I love Keith, I do. But sometimes he just can't give me the attention I need. A girl gets lonely, detective. It only lasted a few dozen years. The man's a bit much, even for me. Look, detective, I've known about Keith and Ezra for a long time. We're both movie stars. It's just part of the life. Why would I be mad?
You sound like a tabloid detective. Is that really the best you've got?